When an animal companion leaves its physical form, it undergoes a spiritual transition much like humans do, though with distinct differences that Cayce's readings have illuminated. The animal soul, unburdened by the complex karmic attachments that humans carry, often experiences a more direct passage into the spiritual realms. The transition begins as the animal's life force separates from its physical vessel. This process is typically gentle and natural, especially for those animals who have lived full lives or those who are compassionately released from suffering. Unlike human souls, which may experience confusion or resistance during this transition, animal souls generally accept this passage with the same trust and openness they demonstrated in life. As the animal crosses the threshold between physical and spiritual existence, it enters what many spiritual traditions describe as a plane of light. This is not a distant or foreign realm, but rather a higher vibrational state that exists alongside our physical reality. Here, the animal's consciousness expands beyond the limitations of its physical form, yet it retains its essential identity, the unique spirit that you knew and loved. In this light-filled dimension, animal souls experience a profound healing. Any pain, illness, or limitation that affected them in their final days is released. Elderly dogs regain their youthful energy. Cats who struggled with illness find themselves whole again. This healing is not merely a restoration of their prime physical condition, but an elevation of their spirit to its most perfect expression. The animal soul carries with it the emotional bonds formed during its earthly life. The love shared between you and your animal companion creates an energetic connection that transcends physical death. This connection serves as a bridge between dimensions, allowing the animal spirit to remain aware of you and your life journey, even as it explores its new spiritual reality. In the spiritual realm, animal souls are met and guided by spiritual guardians. Some traditions speak of specific angelic beings who care for animal souls, while others suggest that animals who have crossed before may serve as guides to newly arrived souls. There exists in these realms a community of animal spirits, united not by species or breed, but by the love they shared with their human companions. For animals who experience trauma or abuse before finding love in your care, this transition brings a profound emotional healing. The spiritual plane allows them to fully understand and integrate the love you shared, releasing any residual fear or distrust they may have carried. This healing process is part of the greater purpose of the human-animal bond, a mutual evolution of consciousness through love. The most beautiful aspect of this transition is that animals do not experience it as an ending, but rather as an expansion. The consciousness that animated your beloved companion continues to exist, to love, and to evolve. Death, from the spiritual perspective, is simply a transition from one state of being to another, a doorway, not a final destination. During this crossing, your thoughts and feelings reach your animal companion. When you speak to them after their passing, sending love or expressing your grief, these emotions create energetic ripples that they can perceive. Many who have studied these connections suggest that maintaining this loving communication actually assists the animal in its spiritual journey, creating a mutual support system that benefits both souls. The concept of reunion with our animal companions in the spiritual realms has been documented across various traditions and through countless personal experiences. Many who have undergone near-death experiences, NDEs, report not only being greeted by human loved ones, but also by the animals who shared their earthly journey. These accounts provide a window into the continuing bonds that transcend physical existence. In the spiritual plane, the reunion with animal companions takes place in a realm of pure recognition. Without physical limitations, souls recognize each other through their energetic signature, the unique vibrational pattern that constitutes their essential being. Your animal companion knows you not by your appearance, but by the unmistakable resonance of your soul, just as you would recognize their presence beyond any physical form they once inhabited. These reunions often occur in what many spiritual teachers describe as reception areas in the afterlife, transitional spaces where souls first adjust to their non-physical state. Here, the animals who have crossed before you often take on the role of welcoming committee. They appear as their most perfect, vibrant selves, not necessarily as they were at the end of their physical lives, but as they were at their healthiest and happiest, or in a form that you would most easily recognize. The joy of these reunions transcends earthly happiness. Those who have glimpsed these encounters through spiritual experiences describe them as overwhelming waves of unconditional love, recognition, and homecoming. The animals bound toward their human companions with unrestrained delight, often communicating telepathically in ways that were impossible during physical life. In this dimension, the limitations of cross-species communication fall away, allowing for a perfect understanding between human and animal souls. What makes these reunions particularly profound is that the waiting period, which may seem long from our earthly perspective, is experienced differently in the spiritual realms. Time does not flow linearly in these dimensions. Your animal companion does not experience your absence as years of waiting, but rather exists in a state of timeless presence, engaging in activities of growth and service while maintaining awareness of your continuing journey on Earth. Spiritual mediums who have developed the ability to perceive these realms consistently report that animal companions remain active during this interim period. They are not in a state of suspended animation, merely waiting for their humans to join them. Instead, they participate in the spiritual ecosystem, often serving as helpers and guides for other animals crossing over, or acting as healing presences for souls in need of the particular form of love that animals provide so purely. These accounts align with what Cayce suggested in his readings, that all souls, including those of animals, continue to evolve and serve according to their nature and capacity. The love that an animal developed for its human companion becomes a form of spiritual service that continues beyond physical life. This service may include sending healing energy during times of grief or difficulty, appearing in dreams to provide comfort, or even guiding their human companion toward healing paths or important life decisions. The reunions themselves are not static events, but evolving relationships. Many spiritual traditions teach that once reunited in the spiritual realm, human and animal companions continue their journey together, exploring new dimensions of growth and service. The bond formed in physical life becomes the foundation for deeper connections and shared purposes in the spiritual realms. What these accounts collectively suggest is that the relationships we form with our animal companions are not temporary arrangements limited to a brief physical existence, but eternal connections between souls. The love shared between a human and an animal creates an energetic bond that the universe honors and preserves beyond the transition we call death. For those currently grieving the loss of an animal companion, this understanding offers profound comfort. Your beloved friend is not lost or extinguished, but transformed. They exist now in a state of expanded awareness, free from pain and limitation, yet still connected to you through the unbreakable bond of love. The reunion that awaits is not a distant, uncertain possibility, but a spiritual reality that exists beyond time, waiting to unfold when your journey brings you to that threshold. Until that moment of physical reunion, a different kind of communion remains possible. Through meditation, prayer, or simply the quiet openness of a loving heart, many people report sensing the continued presence of their animal companions. These connections are not imaginary comforts, but genuine spiritual links, bridges between dimensions that love alone can build and maintain. The spiritual plane where these reunions occur is not distant or separate from our reality, but interpenetrates it, vibrating at frequencies our physical senses cannot normally detect. This proximity means that our animal companions are not far away in some remote heaven, but close by in a parallel dimension of higher vibration, aware of our lives and sending their love across the seeming divide. After an animal companion crosses to the spiritual realm, the bond of love continues to function as a conduit through which they can make their presence known. These manifestations are not merely the projection of grief or wishful thinking, but genuine spiritual communications that occur when the veil between dimensions momentarily thins. Understanding how to recognize these signs can bring profound comfort and the reassurance that death is not the end of your shared journey. Dreams provide one of the most common and vivid channels for contact with departed animal companions. Unlike ordinary dreams, visitation dreams possess a distinctive clarity and emotional resonance that sets them apart. Those who experience these encounters often report waking with absolute certainty that a genuine connection occurred. In these dreams, animals typically appear healthy and vibrant, free from any illness or limitations they may have experienced at the end of their physical lives. The communication in these dreams is direct and telepathic, conveying messages of reassurance, continued love, or guidance. The timing of these dream visitations is often meaningful. Many report that their animal companions appear during periods of particular emotional difficulty, major life transitions, or anniversaries of their passing. This suggests a continued awareness of the human's life circumstances and an intention to provide support when it is most needed. These are not random occurrences, but purposeful connections initiated from the spiritual realm. Beyond dreams, many experience the distinct physical sensation of their animal's presence. This might manifest as the feeling of a cat jumping onto the bed, the pressure of a dog leaning against your leg, or the subtle warmth of a small animal nestled in your lap. These sensory experiences often occur when the mind is quiet, during meditation, while falling asleep, or in moments of peaceful solitude. The sensations are typically fleeting, but unmistakable to those who were intimately familiar with their animal's habits and movements. Scent provides another powerful channel for spiritual connection. The sudden and inexplicable detection of your animal's distinctive smell, be it the warm musk of a dog's fur, the clean scent of a freshly groomed cat, or the hay-sweet aroma of a beloved horse, can occur months or even years after their transition. These olfactory messages often appear without any physical trigger and disappear just as mysteriously, leaving behind a sense of comfort and recognition. Sound manifestations represent another common form of contact. Many report hearing the distinctive padding of paws across the floor, the jingling of collar tags, a familiar bark or meow, or the unique vocalizations that were characteristic of their animal companion. These auditory signs typically occur when the environment is quiet, often at times of day that were significant in your shared routine, the hour of morning feeding, evening walks, or bedtime rituals. Some animal companions make their continued presence known through interactions with physical objects, toys that mysteriously appear in the middle of rooms, moved from where they were stored away after the animal's passing. Items associated with the animal that fall from shelves during conversations about them. Electronics that behave erratically in patterns that seem to respond to your thoughts or emotions about your departed friend. While some might dismiss these as coincidences, the timing and specificity often defy rational explanation. Other animals in the household may also detect the presence of a crossed-over companion. It is not uncommon for new pets to interact with seemingly empty spaces, tracking invisible movements with their eyes, responding to sounds you cannot hear, or displaying behavior that mimics interaction with another animal. Their unfiltered perception, free from human skepticism, allows them to sense spiritual presences more readily than most humans can. Synchronicities often serve as messages from departed animal companions. These might include repeated encounters with animals of the same species or coloring, finding feathers, shells, or stones that remind you of them, or coming across their image unexpectedly in ways that feel personally significant. These meaningful coincidences often occur at moments when you are thinking of your animal friend or need emotional support, suggesting an orchestrated attempt at communication rather than random chance. The most subtle yet perhaps most common form of contact comes as an inner knowing, a sudden, inexplicable certainty of your animal's presence, or a clear intuitive message that seems to come directly from them. This form of communication bypasses the physical senses entirely, speaking directly to your inner awareness. Many describe it as hearing without ears or seeing without eyes, a pure transfer of consciousness that leaves no doubt about its source. What all these manifestations share is their deeply personal nature. Your animal companion will typically communicate in ways that hold special meaning for you, using the unique language of your relationship. This personalization serves both as confirmation of their continued existence and as evidence of the genuine nature of the communication. A skeptic might dismiss any single instance, but the pattern of meaningful, personally tailored signs becomes difficult to attribute to coincidence or imagination. It's important to understand that your emotional state can either facilitate or hinder these connections. Overwhelming grief can create a fog around your spiritual senses, while acceptance and open-hearted love can clear the channels of communication. This doesn't mean you must suppress your grief. That process has its own necessary timeline, but that cultivating moments of peaceful receptivity can create spaces where connection becomes more possible. Creating small rituals to honor your animal companion can strengthen the spiritual bridge between you. Setting aside quiet time to mentally converse with them, displaying their photo with a candle, or visiting places that were special to you both can establish a sacred space where the dimensions touch. These practices acknowledge the continuing relationship, allowing it to evolve rather than ending with physical death. The spiritual purpose of animals in human lives extends far beyond companionship in the physical realm. Their souls enter our lives with specific missions to teach, heal, protect, and guide us toward greater spiritual awareness. This sacred contract doesn't end with their physical departure, but continues and often deepens as they transition to the spiritual plane. Animals embody spiritual qualities that humans strive to develop: unconditional love, presence in the moment, forgiveness without reservation, and joy in simple existence. They demonstrate these virtues not through philosophy or doctrine, but through lived example. This is why the relationship with an animal companion often feels like a form of spiritual tutelage. They are, in the most profound sense, teachers of the heart. When an animal soul crosses to the spiritual dimension, this teaching role evolves rather than concludes. Freed from physical limitations, their ability to guide and support their human companions actually expands. Many spiritual traditions acknowledge that animals serve as spirit guides or guardian angels after their transition, continuing to protect and direct their human companions from the unseen realms. The concept of animal souls as spiritual guides appears across diverse cultures and belief systems. Native American traditions speak of power animals who accompany human souls throughout lifetimes. Eastern philosophies recognize animal spirits as bearers of specific energies and lessons. Even within Western spiritual frameworks, the idea of animals as divine messengers has deep roots. These convergent understandings across separate traditions suggest a universal truth about the spiritual role of animals. Animals who have shared your life hold a unique position in your spiritual support system. Having known your specific challenges, joys, and growth areas intimately, they can provide precisely targeted guidance. Many report receiving intuitive insights from departed animal companions at crucial decision points, gentle nudges toward healing paths, or away from harmful choices. This guidance often comes through dreams, meditation, or moments of quiet reflection when the analytical mind steps aside. The healing work that animals perform in physical life also continues after their transition. Many energy healers and medical intuitives report sensing the presence of departed animal companions during healing sessions with their former owners. These animals appear to work on the energetic and emotional bodies, helping to dissolve blockages and restore balance. Their pure, unconditional love creates a frequency that facilitates healing at the deepest levels. This healing presence becomes particularly evident during times of grief, not only for their own passing, but for other life challenges. Many report feeling their animal companion's presence most strongly during periods of illness, emotional distress, or major life transitions. This suggests an awareness from the spiritual realm of the human circumstances and a continuing commitment to provide support. Some spiritual traditions suggest that animal souls can actually merge part of their consciousness with their human companions after physical death, creating a form of energetic guardianship or spiritual integration. This might explain why people sometimes develop new traits or affinities after losing an animal companion. A formerly water-averse person suddenly feeling drawn to the ocean after losing a dog who loved swimming, or a non-bird person developing an inexplicable interest in ornithology after the passing of a beloved parrot. The spiritual bond between humans and animals also serves a larger cosmic purpose. In a universe where everything is fundamentally interconnected, these relationships help to heal the artificial separation between species. Each loving connection between a human and animal soul creates a bridge of understanding that extends beyond individual experience to enhance collective consciousness. The love you shared with your animal companion contributes to the healing of humanity's relationship with the natural world. The question of reincarnation arises naturally when considering the ongoing spiritual connection with animal companions. Many traditions teach that animal souls, like human souls, can choose to return to physical form. The deep bond formed between a human and animal creates a soul agreement that may bring them together across multiple lifetimes. Countless people report recognizing the soul of a previous animal companion in a new animal who enters their life, not because they physically resemble the departed pet, but because of an unmistakable essence or energy they carry. These returning souls often make their identity known through behaviors or preferences that couldn't have been learned in their current lifetime, seeking out toys or sleeping spots that were favorites of the previous animal, responding to names or commands never taught to them, or displaying unique personality traits that feel hauntingly familiar. While scientific validation of such phenomena remains challenging, the consistency of these reports across cultures and time periods suggests more than mere coincidence. Whether or not an animal's soul chooses to reincarnate, the energetic bond created by love endures eternally. This connection transcends both time and space, creating what spiritual teachers describe as a soul family, beings who journey together through various dimensions and incarnations, learning and growing through their shared experiences. Your animal companions are not temporary presences in your life, but permanent members of your spiritual family. This eternal bond explains why the loss of an animal companion can trigger such profound grief. At some level, we recognize the spiritual significance of these relationships, that we are experiencing not merely the loss of a pet, but a temporary separation from a soul who has played a crucial role in our spiritual evolution. The depth of grief often matches the depth of the spiritual connection. As we conclude this exploration of the spiritual journey of animal souls, remember that the seeming separation created by physical death is an illusion, a product of our limited perception rather than a spiritual reality. The bond you share with your animal companion continues unbroken across dimensions. They remain aware of you, connected to you, and active in your life in ways that may be subtle but are nonetheless real. The greatest honor we can offer our departed animal companions is to recognize and celebrate the spiritual gifts they continue to bring into our lives. By remaining open to their guidance, grateful for their ongoing presence, and willing to share the wisdom they imparted, we participate in the unfolding purpose of these sacred relationships. Their love continues to transform us long after their physical forms have returned to the elements, guiding us toward our own highest expression of love, compassion, and spiritual awareness. If this exploration of the eternal bond between you and your animal companions has touched your heart, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Each week, we delve into spiritual teachings that illuminate the deeper truths of our existence. Share your own experiences in the comments below. Your story may bring comfort to someone who needs it most. Has a departed animal companion sent you signs? Have you felt their presence guiding you through difficult times? Your journey matters, and this community grows stronger with each shared experience. Click subscribe now to continue our spiritual exploration together, and let the wisdom of our animal teachers ripple outward, touching more hearts with each passing day.